morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to look at a Pokemon that I honestly wasn't really expecting to be talking about today. You see, while I was busy looking at all these new cards from, well, Single Strike and Rapid Strike Master over in Japan, turns out we've actually gone and got a new Dodrio V revealed. I know. I also was not expecting to see Dodrio V anytime soon. It was not one that I thought was going to be on the list, so to speak. But you know what? Turns out, totally do. Totally have. So let's take a little bit of a gander, shall we? Now, of course, our translation comes from the lovely Antoine Boulet. At this stage, you should probably be expecting that. And what we've got is 200 HP, which is honestly on the lower end for a Pokemon V. A retreat cost of 1. Now, this one, I don't like Dodrio having a retreat cost, right? I understand and I get it, and it's a Pokemon V and all of that. But the fact of the matter is, there have been so many Dodrio over the years that have not only had free retreat, but have helped you retreat more easily. Okay, that's a lie. Most of them haven't. Some of them have had free retreat, some of them haven't. But the point is, a bunch of them have had free retreat, and Dodrio has been helping you retreat since the very first card back in Jungle. So you know what? Don't like Dodrio having a retreat cost. Yeah, you get free retreat with U-turn board. No, I don't particularly care. Down with Dodrio needing to pay to retreat. Okay. Got that ran out of my system. Resistance to fighting is good. Although fighting isn't good, I made this point in a bunch of videos. Although fighting isn't good at the moment, there's so much fighting weak stuff like Eternatus, like Pikachu and Zekrom, that fighting is always going to be interesting. And let's not forget that these Single Strike and Rapid Strike Pokemon at the moment are all really coming off of Urshifu that's a fighting Pokemon, so I think fighting is going to be a lot bigger in the not too distant future. And you are weak to lightning, so things like Pikachu and Zekrom, like Raichu and Alolan Raichu, like Boltund, will get very easy KOs here. Lightning, still very much a typing that we need to be taking seriously. And you're a colourless Pokemon, which means powerful colourless energy? Yeah! To be fair, it does do an extra 20 damage, it ain't too bad. What do we do here? Well, the first attack for a single colourless energy does 20 damage, and during your next turn, this Pokemon's attacks deal 80 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon, 80 more damage. Now, this is relevant, and we do need to explain the difference here. So if your opponent switches out their active, that's fine. It is Dodrio that is getting the effect. If your opponent makes you switch your active, or I suppose if you switch voluntarily, but why would you do that after using this first attack? Then you don't get to actually do this. So if your opponent plays a boss's orders, yeah, it'll reset, because essentially you're then a new active Pokemon. Or, and this is probably going to be the easier way to do it, your opponent plays someone like a Fione, makes you switch your active, and as soon as Dodrio hits the bench and comes active again, you no longer get to do that extra 80 damage. I don't mind this first attack, but I think this first attack is very much one of those, you know what, it's there just in case. It's turn 1, you've gone second, you don't have a better attack to use, I might as well use this first attack. The second attack, however, this one could get kind of spicy. Free colourless energy, 160 damage, and 30 to yourself. Now, free energy 160 is okay, it's fine, it's alright, we can deal with it. But remember, it's not really going to be free energy 160, it should be free energy 240. Now, 240 is very different. 240 means you get a one-hit KO on a Pikachu and Zekrom, whereas 160, you're basically hitting, like, the Dene. If you've got a powerful colourless energy on there, you're up to 180, which means as well as the Dene, you'll get Crobat. And to be fair, they are seeing a whole bunch of play, blah, 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 but it is still, shall we say, fairly uninspiring. doesn't fill us with joy, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what's really awkward here. Like, there's a decent 2-turn sequence. Honestly, the best thing I can tell you about this is if you get the first hit, and you've got to get the first hit, you will get a 1-hit KO, well, 2-hit KO on an Arceus and Alga and Palkia. This is what I like it for. This is how I think it can work. Essentially, your opponent has an ADP active. You want to go second. Going second is huge. Be prepared. You might have to boss his orders, the ADP, into the active. You might have to drag it up. Although Great Catcher would work because ADP is a GX. You hit it for 20, or preferably a powerful colorless energy makes it 40. Remember, 20 plus 240 is 260. You need the extra 21 turn. Powerful colorless energy will work. Your opponent then has an ADP active, but if they use a GX attack, you then get to, well, Welder probably, and then you got the extra energy on there, and then you're hitting 240, or if you still got the powerful colorless energy, 260, and then you've got the KO. That's what we're looking for here. And for that specific use, I like it. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at Dodrio, and essentially what I'm thinking about his attacks is this. Mid-game, no. Late-game, no. You're not hitting for weakness. Free energy 160 is not enough. But I do like it. Go second. Hit for 20 or 40. Next turn, hit 240. And then that's probably it, right? Your Dodrio is probably out of the game after that stage. It's not doing enough damage. Maybe you can get a cheeky KO on a Dedenne or a Crobat after that, which would be awesome. But my view of this is very simply... early game, turn 1 going second, turn 2 going second, get the KO. And I actually really like it against ADP. I think it's a 2-turn KO we're looking for. Now, if they go first, you should be all right here, although you might have to drag ADP in the active. If you go first and they get the turn 1 GX attack off, you're in trouble. But if they go second and with the GX attack, then you're still looking pretty good. But that is, I think, about the limit of what we're looking for with Dodrio here. I think it is 2-hit KO over your first 2 turns, going second. And it doesn't have to be an ADP. You're essentially hitting 300. You should be hitting 40 turn 1, and then you should be hitting 260 turn 2. Which means VMAXs, it's not working. Like, you're not going to get a 2-hit KO on an Eternatus or a Centiskorch, probably. I mean, you can play around with extra damage manipulation, get some Galarian Zigzagoon and scoop up nets going, things of that nature, but that's getting a little awkward at that stage. So I'm not loving it as much as I could. In terms of energy, I've already mentioned Welder. I do think that's the best way to go about it. You only need 1 extra energy, because it should be go second, attach energy, do the attack. And then on your second turn, you need free energy. So something like a Tapu Koko accelerating lightning energy when you're on the bench will do it. Hitting a single turbo patch will absolutely do it. Welder will do it. Twin energy won't work because you're a Pokemon V, and triple acceleration energy won't work because you're a basic Pokemon. But I can see a use here. It's a really specific use. But when I first saw this card, I just went, yeah, I hate it. Now, honestly, I like it in a Rapid Strike deck. Oh yeah, have I mentioned it's a Rapid Strike card? So you know there's energy I talked about? Yeah, Rapid Strike energy will work. You need to, now I still think you need the powerful colorless energy, but those extra 2 energy can be used with Rapid Strike energy, which will essentially just provide 2 energy here. So essentially it's powerful colorless energy turn 1, it is Rapid Strike energy turn 2, or the other way round, but I'd rather have the extra damage both turns. And then you're up and rolling. And it's a colorless energy, so no matter what kind of Rapid Strike deck you're playing, this will work nicely. And I did kind of berate it for its retreating earlier, but do remember that Tower of Water will give you free retreat here, so that's quite nice. And then I'm kind of in on this. I only like it for turn 1 attack, turn 2 KO a tag team, or maybe a Pokemon V. And then after that, I think you've got to transition into some better attackers, because you essentially get a setup turn, but if you go second turn 1, it's not so bad. And then 1 good turn. So for that reason, I'm giving it between 3 and 4 Wassies. When I first looked at it, I was looking at like a 2 Wassie card, and I was going, I don't like this. But I ran through some scenarios and I thought about it. We don't give half full stat people back. Did I say that? I ran through some scenarios and I did some calculations and I thought, you know what? And you should be picturing me surrounded by scraps of paper and pens with no lids on them, you know, really going at it. And honestly, I do think for the really specific circumstance I've outlined, an ADP really is a poster child for this. I think it'll work. So you know what? When I start testing Rapid Strike decks, I actually think I'm going to put a Dodrio in there, just to see if this turn 1 option can work. Although you need to be playing powerful colorless energy and that might just ruin it. I don't know. I want to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.